this is Earl at Phoenix, USA, and we're going to attempt to show you how to winterize your motorhome. This will be true on most all motorhomes, but especially on the 2015 Phoenix Cruiser. If you have one of the older models, some of the systems are going to be slightly different, and floor plan to floor plan it varies slightly in the location of the water heater. The water bypass kit will always be behind the water heater. So if you're unsure where that is, look on the outside of your coach for the water heater, and they go inside and it'll be in that location right behind that. What we're trying to do here first is in areas where you're going to freeze. We don't want any water lines or holding tanks to freeze and bust. So the first step is to eliminate all the water out of the system. That means your water heater has to be drained, or that'll freeze and bust. All your water lines will need to be drained, and your freshwater tank. The first thing you want to do though is start with the holding tanks. Since you're done with it for the season, this is a good time to dump your holding tanks and use our onboard sewer sanitation system to flush the everything out of the holding tanks. So use your sewer tank flush system on the gray tank and the black tank, and then drain those all out again so everything will be dry. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put RV antifreeze, which is a non-toxic antifreeze. It's not like what you put in your automobile, so don't worry about that. And in this case, we'll use 2 gallons. We're going to take the RV antifreeze and put it in all the lines other than the water tank and the water heater, because that would just take an awful lot of antifreeze. Like the water heater, 6 gallons, you don't want to spend 6 gallons of antifreeze in a water heater. So that will just drain and that'll take care of itself. Then we're going to bypass that water heater and put antifreeze in all the freshwater lines and in the P-traps under the sinks and the shower, and so that they don't freeze as well. And then we'll do the outside shower, because there's a little section there between the 2 valves that will freeze and bust. And also then we'll do the macerator system so your pump doesn't get damaged. Okay, what you're looking at here is the water heater bypass on a 2910 model. Each model will be in a little different location, but it'll look very much the same. What you see here is the 2 outside valves. This one and this one are open now, and the center one is closed. That's the way you use it when you're actually using the motorhome. For winterizing, to bypass the water heater, we want to close the outside valves, which lead to the water heater, and open the center valve, and it's the same way on every model. Below that, there are 2 low point drains, if you can see those down there, and those just pop straight up, and those will drain the hot water line and the cold water line. Make sure that, and you just pull straight up on those like that, and that will drain the freshwater lines in the coach.
Okay, I'm in the model 2910T, and I need to make sure that the fresh water tank is drained as part of our winterizing step. Some of the models have a low point drain that's right next to the freshwater low point drains, like the model 2350. They're all together. In this one, it's actually at the head of the bed. There's a little insert here. You just lift up on that and you can see your fresh water tank. There are several lines down in there, and there's a little silver valve, and all I do is twist that silver valve so it's parallel with the pipe running under it, and I can hear the water dripping out underneath the coach from here.
Okay, more on the winterizing. We've already done our low point drains and our freshwater tank drain, and I'll leave those valves open, and I've come to the water heater. Now what I need to do here is open this water heater, and there is a plug right here. It's a plastic plug, and I just have some channel lock pliers here, and I'm going to take this out. Now, this is probably full. I don't remember if we have water in this or not, but if we do, water's going to come gushing out, so you probably want to stand aside. Okay, so this one was empty, but you see what I mean. When I take this out, if it was full of water, the water would come gushing out, and that holds 6 gallons, so stand back. And I'm just going to take this plug, I'm going to set it inside there, so I'll need that again when next spring when I'm ready to use it again. And I close this back up. Now, I'm going to go inside and shut off all the water lines, shut off the fresh water drain, and shut off the low point drains, and do my water heater bypass. And then I'll be ready to start winterizing. Okay, at this point what I've done is made up just a short garden hose. I just took a water hose, cut a short section of it off, screwed this into my city water inlet, just like you would for your city water connection. I'm going to take this hose and I'm going to put it into a gallon jug of antifreeze. This is RV antifreeze. It's non-toxic. It's not like the kind you use in your automobile for cooling. I'm going to switch this from the pump position to the winterize position, and it is labeled here. Then I'm going to turn on the water pump, which we have a convenient switch here to turn that on, and you can see it's already siphoning out of the jug.
Okay, I'm still outside the coach here. We siphoned out pretty much 1 full gallon, and then the water pump shut off, which means the water lines are full. However, now we're going to go inside the coach and run each faucet just to make sure we have pink antifreeze coming out of it. So we opened up a 2nd gallon here, put the line down into it. You'll see the water pump is still on. Now we're going to go inside and bleed each of the lines.
Now the water pump's still on, so we want to open up the valve. Sprayer on. I'm going to turn that sprayer off so you can see it better. And now you can see the pink fluids coming out, so that's all we need for that. And I'm going to switch it to the hot side, even though the hot line is not going through the water heater. I still want to have antifreeze in that line. So we've got pink fluid coming out the line there and going down the drain. I put a little extra in there, otherwise you need to come back with a gallon jug again and pour some down each P-trap, because you don't want any water caught in that P-trap to be exposed either. Now we're going to go to the bathroom. Here we are at the bathroom lavatory. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to open this up until the pink fluid starts coming out. And I'm going to do the hot water line the same way. Now I've put enough antifreeze down there also for that P-trap. Here we are at the stool, so I'm going to do the same thing to the stool. I'm going to spray this pink fluid in there. I'll put a little extra down there because when we're done I'm going to use the macerator pump just a little bit to make sure that there's fluid in that pump also. That should do it. Now here we are at the shower. Of course here you have to do the same thing over again. See the pink fluid coming out there. And again here. And then just turn it off. When you turn that off, it traps the water, or the antifreeze, in the lines. And that eliminates any water, so there's no chance for any freeze up.
Okay, we're back outside the coach after getting all the inside faucets. We opened up the hot and cold on each of the faucets. We opened up the hot and cold on the inside shower, and we flushed the commode. That killed off the 2nd gallon of antifreeze. Actually, it left a little in the bottom of each of them. We combined what's left into one here, so we're still at less than 2 gallons of antifreeze. And the only thing we have left to do is the outside shower. So Earl's over here with the outside shower. He'll turn on one line. And he's got the hot line open there, and it's running pink. And he'll close that up and do the cold line. Alright, and it's running pink too. Okay, so we've opened and closed every faucet, we've flushed the toilet, and we are right down to the bottom of our 2nd gallon, and that's all it took because we bypassed the water heater and we used the water distribution panel to do it. We pointed it into the sanitize, winterize position, and all we have left to do is to winterize the macerator. And because we now have our gray and black tanks each have a little bit of the antifreeze in them, we'll be able to just open up our gate valves, turn on the macerator, and we should have some pink come out of it. And what we're trying to do here is to get that pink antifreeze inside that actual macerator pump.
So here's what we do with the macerator, just like if you're dumping. You just take the cap off the hose, open the gray water valve, and since you've already got everything dumped anyway before you started this, we dumped the holding tanks and sprayed them out and cleaned those real good before we started. You can actually open both of these up and then flip on the pump. See it has the pink antifreeze in it.
When it's real foamy like that, you know it's the antifreeze that's coming through. So, alright, and he'll just leave some of that fluid in the lines. Normally, of course, you try and shake every last ounce of it out, but since it's antifreeze, it doesn't really matter if there's some in there. And obviously our pump is now winterized, so he'll screw that cap back on and we'll be all done.